hotspot that was the easterly side of the county. I also know that Clemson University has an ambulance service as well, but I also know that mutual aid and those kinds of things plug into it. They're not the primary 911 provider for that part of the county, but if there is opportunity, you know, I think one thing that we've all talked about numerous times is collaboration. We don't do everything on our own. We should be responsible and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. If you would please, because I don't expect you to know the answers, if you would please look into that, look into those issues and this concern. Obviously, I'm sure there are others that are just like it, and maybe we can get us an update in the near future.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We will.
Thank you. Other questions for Mr. Roper? Hearing none, we'll move on to the committee report. The Committee of the Whole met on Tuesday, May the 28th. Feels like just yesterday. Log number 233, which was the FY 24-25 budget work session. We did receive a presentation from Evergreen Solutions regarding the compensation study. Councilwoman Linville made a motion to approve the class year parity implementation and revisit the compensation study in 1 year. I seconded that motion and it carried unanimously 6-0. No second is required as this comes as a recommendation from the committee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That is unanimous. Next up was the presentation discussion on the library budget. Councilwoman Linville moved to approve the library budget as presented. That motion was seconded by Councilman Wilson. The discussion included Councilman Wilson made a motion to table the motion, stating he would like to table this vote until the council and the library board knew how much state aid funding the library will be receiving. That motion was seconded by Councilman Lawless. Vice Chairman Costner tabled the motion to include an estimate on the state aid amount. The motion was seconded by myself. After more discussion, Vice Chairman Costner and Councilman Wilson withdrew their motions. Councilman Wilson made an amended motion to approve the library budget as presented, which includes the estimated $328,000 the library received in state funding. I seconded that motion. After much discussion on the library budget, Councilman Wilson moved to table his motion to revisit the library budget before the end of the year budget discussion. That motion was seconded by Councilman Seda, and it carried unanimously 6-0. As this comes as a recommendation from committee, it doesn't require a second. Is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Councilwoman.
Since that meeting, we were emailed the updated budget requested, but does it have to go back to committee discussion? Okay.
I think that's a smart thing to do.
Okay, when is our next committee of the whole meeting?
16th to 17th, 2 weeks from today.
But that's after the end of the fiscal year.
No, it's not.
It's June 30th.
June 30th.
Yeah, it's the end of the fiscal year.
So can I amend the motion to ensure that the library budget is put on the committee meeting, on our next committee of the whole meeting, since they have presented us the updated budget?
I'll second that, that's fine.
So I have a motion to ensure that it's on the next committee of the whole, since they have presented the budget. That has been seconded by Councilman Seda. Discussion on the amendment.
I was just gonna say, we have to decide on the budget as part of the overall budget. So
Before then, right? That's what I was trying to clarify.
we'd have to do it anyway.
We'd have to do it anyway.
So, yeah, but it will be in the discussion, I'm sure. But that's fine.
Okay.
Any other discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That's unanimous. So back to the motion as amended. Any other discussion?
Just restate the motion, please.
The motion is that we will revisit the library budget before the end of year budget discussion, which will be on the 17th, was what the amended motion is.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That is unanimous. And that is the end of the committee report. Council correspondence. A special call meeting in the committee of the whole meeting will take place on Monday, June 17th at 6 o'clock in the main conference room of this building. Our next council meeting will be on Monday, July the 8th at 6:30 here in council chambers. Are there any other correspondence that need to be announced tonight? Hearing none, that takes us to motion period new business. I'd like to make a motion that we add Project Lift to executive session for discussion tonight.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That is unanimous. Thank you. Any other motions for new business this evening?
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion that at a meeting in the future, we have a discussion on the airport hangar situation and to visit the tax rate on aircraft in Pickens County.
Mr. Chairman.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
the correct way?
To add a consent agenda, basically.
Okay.
So airplane hangars and
Tax rate on aircraft.
tax rate on aircraft to the consent agenda.
Yes, please.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. And that carries. Any other new business or motions this evening? Sorry, just had to make a note. My apologies. All right, that takes us to item number 8, which is ordinances for first reading and/or resolutions. The first item I have is a consideration of an inducement resolution identifying a project to satisfy the requirements of Title 12, Chapter 44 of the South Carolina Code, so as to allow investment expenditures incurred by companies known to the county as Project Hydro Re and Project Hydro Me, their sponsor affiliates, and related entities to qualify as expenditures eligible for a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes arrangement with Pickens County, South Carolina, providing for any other necessary agreements with the company to effect the intent of this resolution and other matters related thereto. Ask for a motion and a second.
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Limble. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That carries. Item B, consideration of a resolution approving and consenting to the amendment of fee in lieu of tax agreement between Pacesetter Inc. and Pickens County, South Carolina, and other matters related thereto. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
I have a motion by Dr. Wilson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sadie. Discussion?
What is this?
Which one is this?
Pacesetter.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, you remember you were briefed in executive session, I believe, last month, is that correct, last month, about the folks at Abbott in the Commerce Park, how they had a fee in lieu of tax agreement that goes back several years. They have far and away exceeded the capital investment that they needed to make in our community, paying taxes on a great deal of equipment, but part of that equipment was automation equipment. So their impact on the tax base of this county is very good and very marked, but because they automated, they did not meet the job numbers. From the time that inducement was made until now, the nature of that business changed to more automation. So this is just refreshing the paperwork to reflect the fact that they far exceeded their capital investment, but did not meet the jobs requirement, but it continues the fee nonetheless.
Any other discussion?
So is Pacesetter just another corporate name for Abbott?
It is. It's a name. I guess they hold the real property in. Is that correct?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Other discussion?
I remember that now.
All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. And that carries. I have consideration of resolution recognizing June 2024 as the Joy of Fatherhood Month in Pickens County. I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That carries. And then first reading in title only of ordinance number 642 to develop a jointly owned and operated industrial business park in conjunction with Oconee County, such industrial business park to be geographically located in Oconee County and established pursuant to section 4-1-170 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976 as amended, to provide for a written agreement with Oconee County to provide for the expenses of the park, the percentage of revenue application, and the distribution of fee in lieu of ad valorem taxation and other matters related thereto. This is for Project Turn. Can I get a motion and a second?
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Limble. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That's unanimous. Thank you. This takes us to ordinances for second reading. I have ordinance.
Third reading.
Ma'am?
Sorry. I thought you were going to third reading.
No. Ordinances for second reading, which is item 9 on tonight's agenda. Second reading of an ordinance number 643, authorizing the execution and delivery of one or more fee in lieu of tax and incentive agreements by and between Pickens County and a company or companies known to the county at this time as Project Hydro, acting for itself or one or more project sponsors pursuant to which the county will covenant to accept certain negotiated payments in lieu of ad valorem taxes with respect to certain facilities within the county, the approval of a certain reimbursements of the cost of such project, the benefits of a multi-county industrial business park to be made available to the company and the project, and other matters related thereto. I ask for a motion and a second.
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That carries. Item 10 on tonight's agenda is public hearing of ordinance number 640 to provide for the adoption of a budget amendment containing estimates of revenue and expenditure changes for the Pickens County for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024. I'll open us up for public hearing, and this is the budget changes or amendments for the current operating year. Is there anyone that would like to speak on these amendments? Hearing none, I'll close public forum. Public hearing, my apologies. Next on tonight's agenda is public hearing of ordinance number 641 to provide for the levy of taxes in Pickens County for ordinary county purposes for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025, and to direct expenditures thereof. I'll open us up for public hearing for the budget in which we will be moving into, the one that we will be voting on by the end of the month. Is there anyone that would like to speak at public hearing for this ordinance? Who would please come to the mic?
If this is related to the discussion that you had about the library budget, then I would like you to review that, because from my understanding, the library actually gets more money than the sheriff's department. So I think there's a need to reevaluate the expenditures of the county. And that's just one example that I could think at the top of my head. As a taxpayer, I expect to have sheriff services before library services. Thank you.
Thank you.
You need to get that name.
Can I get a name, ma'am?
Pardon?
Do you mind sharing your name?
Polly Keller.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Nora Castillo, and thank you so much, ma'am, for making your contribution. In the very same way, I hear what she said, and I respect everything she said. However, I think it's unfair to compare the library with the sheriff's department. All in favor, from my part, to increase the budget for the sheriff's department. Completely agree. However, I will not support, as a citizen of this county, to decrease at any moment or in any way the budget for the library. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Alex Curran. I come to speak in favor of the library. The library is funded in a millage system, and that's done so that political influence won't be used to determine the operation of the library. I think it's important that the millage system be kept for the library.
Anyone else like to speak at tonight's public hearing for the budget? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Move to item number 11 on tonight's agenda. Other requested agenda items, and I don't believe we have any. Item 12, consent agenda. I do have the aircraft hangars and tax rate to be reviewed during committee of the whole. That was added tonight to the consent agenda.
She did add it, so that would be consent agenda.
And the library budget as part of the next committee meeting would also be part of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion and a second that we adopt this consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wallace, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. All right, so next up on the agenda is the executive session. I'll ask for a motion and second that we go to executive session for Project Lift, which was added to the agenda tonight, personnel, employee performance review, and then boards and commissions for work link board appointment. Do I have a motion and second that we go to executive for these items?
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. And we will return after executive session. Should have been during the business. I don't know how to go back and